Over-the-air updates have been possible for decades, starting when wireless data transfer first became highly reliable. But they've become much more common in recent years, as more things have become connected. Often referred to as OTAU, these are software updates sent through a wireless connection to upgrade the program that's running on a device. They're a pathway for manufacturers to update a product digitally without having to mess with the hardware. Pre-internet, products that needed updates would have to be sent back to the manufacturer, taken apart and reprogrammed, or scrapped, which is never a good thing for brand reputation. Consumers are now used to making wireless software updates for their devices. If you have an iPhone, you get them pretty regularly. Over-the-air updates will only become more of a necessity as hardware inches closer to a future where products will be devoid of physical ports and connectors. These wireless updates are good for manufacturers and users who are worried about security concerns. Holes in the code can be closed as soon as flaws are exposed, even if it's after a product is released. And the potential to add functionality post-launch is important when technology and markets are rapidly changing. An example is the Pebble smartwatch. When first released, it only had support for power-hungry Bluetooth Classic communication. However, Pebble was able to add Bluetooth Low Energy functionality later on in the product's life through a firmware update. Tesla is another good example. The company has shipped over-the-air updates that have changed everything from its autopilot driver assistance system to its layout and look of its touchscreen interfaces. During Hurricane Irma in 2017, Tesla shipped an update to drivers in Florida to unlock their full battery capacity, giving them another 30 to 40 miles of driving range to help them escape the storm. Then, there was the time Apple sent an update that slowed down phones to preserve battery life, and didn't tell anyone. Consumers weren't too happy about that. Lesson learned, be transparent about your updates. Another OTAU failure was a smart lock company whose firmware update ended up bricking devices, literally locking users out of their homes. The lesson there? Make sure your OTAU is well vetted before releasing it to customers. Test all the firmware versions that could exist in the wild. Over-the-air updates have changed the product development cycle in a few ways. Electrical engineers now need to build devices to be smart enough to detect firmware versions, safely download, update, and go back to work. And OTAU encourages development teams to work closely with clients, closing the loop between feedback and feature implementation.